Okay, guys. Hey, welcome to Shay's Tube, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. It is Monday, May the 19th, 2025. And guys, happy and blessed new week. Y'all, before we start off with this live, I want y'all to hear this new little theme song thing that not a theme song. I just want y'all, actually, maybe I should play it before the video goes off. Yeah, because it'll probably be easier for me to, I'll play it once the video go off, okay? It's a new song that I had someone did. It's actually a rap, so I'll play that later when this video goes off so y'all can hear it, okay? Because it's super, it's a trip, so we're looking forward to that. All right, so welcome to Shay's Tube. Let me go ahead and go over the copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area. It will be in my comment area, and some of it is floating across that screen right there, okay? All right, guys, if you enjoyed this content today, I'm gonna ask you guys to thumbs it up, and also, hold on, yeah, just thumbs up this video if you like it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notifications so you can be notified of any upcoming videos, all right? All right, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. I can barely hear the damn music. Hold on, let me check this to see. I think I got I got it all the way down. Okay, so where is the daggone thing? Yeah, let's check and see. Hopefully my internet works good today. I'm not going to share anything because I don't want it to freeze up. I got to pay my StreamYard. They may try to do like they did the other day. And I'll probably be playing it sometime today or tomorrow. So I won't be sharing nothing until then. Okay, because every time I'm telling you, I believe they do that when you don't pay that bill. I'm going to be perfectly honest. When you do not renew your plan, I honestly believe that they stop you from doing that by freezing up stuff and things. Because we'll see when I pay it tonight or either tomorrow, you'll see when I do another video, we'll see if it does that. I'm telling you, they do that because it wasn't doing that before. So anyway, it is what it is. You know, I have to pay what I need to pay first before StreamYard. That's least, important in regards to other things that I have to pay. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about Sean Diddy Combs in trial. I don't even remember. I think this is trial day 5, if I'm not mistaken. And I do have a lot of information regarding that. And it was a tripped out trial today. You know, I think Dawn testified again and some other people. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me change this banner right here. They definitely allow you to do all that when you haven't renewed it. I don't understand how people even use a free one because damn, they take everything off. You only can do about 5 videos. It's I don't know. They just almost force you to pay for this service. So let's see. I don't know what day this is. I got day 5 on the other one. It's maybe day 6. Who knows? This is probably like day 6. I'm not sure, but we're just going to put trial updates. All right, we're going to just do that because I forgot what day it is. Let me turn on my ceiling fan because it's hot in here. So we're going to show that in a minute. I guess I can show it. Let's see. Yeah, there it is right there. Hold on. Yeah, I just came back home, y'all. I went to work and then I came back to do this video. So I won't have to worry about doing it tonight. So it won't be so late and stuff. So I'll be here for we'll be here just an hour. And then I got to head out again, take my daughter to work, and then I'll go back to work. All right. So first thing first, let's go ahead and see what I have regarding Diddy for today. It's a lot of stuff. So Dawnrichards said, you guys, that Diddy would threaten people will pass on if they don't listen. That's according to what Dawn said. She testified for the prosecution, as we know. She said if he didn't get his way, people go missing. What? So they said prosecutors were clearly homing in on the racketeering charge against Diddy, as Dawn was asked what she thought Diddy meant by that. And then she replied, that people could DIE. Okay, that's tripped out. Yeah, welcome to everybody in the bushes. Everybody watch this is in a replay. There's nobody in the chat. I forgot to say that. So when people come in, I'll say it. So last week, I think that was on Friday, Dawn said that she personally saw Diddy drag Cassie, kick her, and punched her in the mouth. And she said that she was too scared to do anything. Okay. And I think she also said allegedly he drug Cassie up to the bedroom. And she said she can do anything but stand there. I don't know how she managed to do that, because I think that, I would probably be calling the police. I don't know. It's hard to say. Anyway, the prosecutor followed up with another question. He asked her what would prompt these acts of violence. And then Dawn said when Cassie would speak up for herself. Now, y'all do remember when Cassie said that. Now, she also recounted an event in 2009 where she says Diddy punched Cassie in the face, which gave her a swollen eye. They attended an event in Central Park a short time later, and Cassie wore sunglasses to hide the injury. That's what Dawn thinks. And then the prosecutor asked her why did she wear sunglasses, and Dawn said solidarity. Okay. So, that's tripped out. Let's see. Now, however, she did say there were limits to how involved they would get in Diddy and Cassie's relationship, because she said, because I asked myself, if he did that to someone he supposedly loved, what would he do to an employee? So she said she would approach Mr. Combs with softness. Prosecutors also asked Dawn about drugs in the GUNS. She testified Diddy would get all his drugs, weed, Molly, the white stuff, and ketamine from one man. As she put it, he had it all, including Plan B birth control. Diddy kept all the NARCOTICS in a Louis Vuitton toiletry bag that went everywhere, from domestic to overseas. So he kept everything in that bag. Now, as for weapons, Dawn said she saw Diddy carry, and you know what I'm talking about, on his lower back. And she also saw his security guards, D-Rock, in bonds with firearms. Now, defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland cross-examined Richard and did her best to poke holes in her testimony. Attorney Nicole Westmoreland grilled Richard about her allegation Diddy made DATH threats, pointing out Richard met with prosecutors many times without mentioning that. She also got Richard to admit she never seen Diddy wave, load, or cock a gun, and said the singer had been inconsistent on whether she ever saw anyone pay Diddy's DRUG dealer. This is so crazy how you get to spell all these words out, but yet YouTube let you do other things on it. So this is a picture of, if I can show it, I forgot this damn thing that changed up. It changed up 2-3 days ago. So I guess all that'll get back to normal when I pay this bill. I don't know. So that's that right there. That's them in the courtroom, okay? If you guys can see that. Now, as Attorney Nicole was grilling Dawn, several jurors raised their eyebrows and listened, very well. And this was a stark change from last week. What's up, Jermaine? When jurors seemed to be getting bored during a long week of Cassie's testimony. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, they probably just saw a bunch of tripped out, couple tripping out, talking lovely, then, get into little disagreements. I'm pretty sure that was boring. It was boring when I was reading it. Okay. Anyway, that's what Dawn testified. I think that was Friday and maybe some today. I'm not sure. Okay, so let me go ahead and go into the rest of the stuff. So Jermaine said lies, all lies, and lies. We will see Jermaine. Okay. He also said like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to do that $4.99 membership if you would like per month. Also, you can do a super sticker, super chat, and a cash app, a $ shades tube. Okay, I'll be forgetting what to say when I get up here after being not being here for a day or whatever the case is. All right. Okay, let's see here. So this one right here, guys, check this out. I'm gonna go back into Dawn's testimony in a minute, but let me tell you about this right here. So I think this is Cassie's best friend who testified, Carrie Morgan. She said she testified that Diddy violently, and I know I'm saying that crazy, beat Cassie. Okay, so let's see here. So first of all, let's read this. So she witnessed him assault Cassie on many different occasions, okay? And he made the woman sign a $30,000 non-disclosure agreement so she would not speak about the incident, she claimed. But does he realize if somebody does something illegal that the person can still tell because it's illegal? Non-disclosure agreement, it does not protect you from doing illegal stuff. I don't know why certain people get on YouTube saying it does. When I went online with a legal, with the attorney and asked that question, and it came right back. And you cannot use an NDA to conceal or hide crimes. Okay, you cannot prevent people from telling when you do something illegal. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know why he made her sign an NDA for that, because that's why people need to read about stuff, because she can still call and tell about that because that's something illegal. Beating someone is illegal, okay? Point blank. Goodness. Now, after Sean Diddy Combs, assaulted Cassie in the hotel lobby in 2016, he showed up to her apartment, you guys, and tried to break down her door with a hammer. That's what this lady said, the friend. Okay. What's her name again? Carrie, I think. Yeah, Carrie. That's what Carrie said. So they said following the attack, which was caught on a hotel video camera, showing him dragging her, kicking her, throwing a vase at her, a glass vase, Cassie had a black eye. That's what Carrie Morgan told a Manhattan courtroom earlier today. But we already knew that because Cassie already told us that she had a black eye. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that security officer, aka police officer, said the same thing. Her friend said she had a hoodie over her head and she was kind of slumped and dropped her bags. Okay. About 30 minutes later, Carrie testified Combs showed up to Cassie's apartment and tried to break down her door with a hammer. He was hitting the door with a hammer to try and open it. He was yelling. I could hear him. On one occasion, Combs allegedly assaulted Carrie herself using a wooden hanger. He came up behind me and choked me and boomeranged a wooden hanger around my head. That's what Carrie Morgan said. She eventually signed a non-disclosure agreement with Combs for $30,000. She testified. Morgan's testimony come on the sixth day of Combs' ex-trafficking and racketeering trial. It's the sixth day. Jurors were in the court for the sixth day on Monday, listening to counts from several witnesses, including Cassie herself, Diddy Kane band member Don Richard, and an ex-worker who alleges he saw Cassie after hearing Combs allegedly assault her. Okay, so like they always say, if you are experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, that number is 1-800-799-7233. Or you can go to thehotline.org. That's the hotline.org. Thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. Again, that number is 1-800-799-7233. All right. So Carrie, you said Carrie and Cassie are best friends. They have a long time. They had a long time to come up with these lies. I think they have proof. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me put this up here real quick. So we just covered that one with the hammer. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, using a hammer to break down the door allegedly. Don't come. So I think we already covered that. Dawn Richards said that, at least I don't know if I covered it in detail. Let me see. So much, you guys. So much. I think this is the same one where singer Dawn Richards told jurors at Sean Diddy Combs' ex-trafficking trial that he threatened to unalive her if she told anyone she saw him physically abusing his longtime girlfriend. So Richards testified that Combs made the threat the day after she witnessed the Bad Boy Records founder punch and kick Cassie after taking a swing at her with a skillet. Okay, this is this is the other one I told you where she said that he hit Cassie with a skillet full of eggs. Now, Dawn said he told her and another woman who saw the attack that we could go missing if they didn't stay quiet. So I'm wondering if the other woman is Carrie. All right. Now, Assistant U.S. Attorney Mitzi Steiner asked Richard what she took "we go missing" to mean. She said that we could pass on. She said she was shocked because all of this happened just as she was beginning to record with Diddy, Dirty Money, a musical trio with Combs and another R&B singer. Richard disclosed the alleged threat as she returned to the witness stand to kick off the second week of testimony in Combs' ex-trafficking and racketeering trial in Manhattan federal court. As we know, Combs, 55, is accused of exploiting his entertainment power broker status to abuse women, including Cassie, through threats and violence for 2 decades from 2004 until his arrest last September. He has pleaded not guilty. His lawyers argue that prosecutors compiled proof of domestic violence, but not the federal crimes he's charged with. And that is true so far. Before days in, Cassie's best friend of 17 years and a former personal assistant to Combs testified that she felt trapped as prosecutors tried to uncover proof that Combs was operating a criminal racketeering organization that relied on employees to help him control Cassie and other women in his life. Testimony about Combs' beatings of Cassie came with hardly a mention of the drug freak-offs that dominated testimony last week, when Cassie explained over 4 days how her wish for a loving relationship with Combs led instead to her weekly extra performances with male ex-workers that left her too exhausted to pursue her musical career. Okay. Now, Richard, who began her testimony on Friday and concluded today, says she witnessed Combs attack Cassie multiple times, including during a visit to Combs' home recording studio in 2009, when Richard says she and another woman saw Combs hit Cassie on the head and beat her on the ground after Cassie deflected a swipe at her head by a skillet. Richard says she witnessed Combs beat his girlfriend a lot when he would punch her, choke her, drag her, slap her in the mouth. I saw him kick her, punch her in the stomach. Beatings came when Cassie spoke up for herself. If she had an opinion about something, said Richard, who also performed in the group, then it came. She said Combs' staff, including his bodyguards, also witnessed violence, but they wouldn't react. They wouldn't do anything, which is damn a shame. Richard supported Cassie's testimony that Combs had stifled Cassie's fledgling singing career, saying she heard Combs tell Cassie that he owned her and that any success she had would be on his terms. Richard said Combs would get mad, sometimes violent, when she and other artists offered to help Cassie write songs. Defense lawyer Nicole Westmoreland suggested Richard was testifying because she was angry at Combs for ending Danity Kane and Diddy Dirty Money, and because she has a pending lawsuit against him. She said, "You felt that Mr. Combs ruined your career, not once, but twice." And then Richard said yes. She contended, though, that she was sad, not angry, over the end of the groups, and is suing Combs because he mistreated her and withheld her earnings. Bad Boy signed Cassie to a 10-album deal in 2006, but only released one, the self-titled Cassie, which came out the same year. Cassie and Combs started dating back in 2007 and broke up for good in 2018. After Richard came testimony from Carrie Morgan, she says she was Cassie's longtime best friend until they had a falling out after Morgan suffered a concussion when Combs choked Morgan and slung a wooden hanger at her in 2018 when he came to Cassie's LA home enraged that Cassie was dating someone else. Morgan said she was going to sue Combs, but Cassie met her at a pizza parlor, and had her sign a non-disclosure agreement in return for $30,000 from Combs, while accusing her of milking and over-exaggerating the attack. Morgan and Cassie both testified that they haven't spoken since. Morgan, a reluctant witness who acknowledged that she only testified in response to a government subpoena, said she saw Combs beat Cassie at least twice, including once so severely on a trip to Jamaica when Combs became angry that Cassie was taking too long in the bathroom that she thought her friend had been knocked out. She says she encouraged Cassie to break up with him after realizing that the very confident woman she had met in 2001 during modeling gigs and who roamed with her for a time had lost her spark and had assumed a slumped posture as she catered to Combs' needs. But she said Cassie was reluctant to leave Combs. He controlled everything. She would have lost all of her livelihood, Morgan said, noting that Combs paid for Cassie's apartment and car and had her under contract with Bad Boy. I told you he was paying for everything. Now y'all see that? Cassie testified last week that although she continued to go to the recording studio and work on songs, Combs refused to release them. I can see that. He was in charge of her career, Morgan testified, adding that Cassie sometimes expressed frustration that her music wasn't being released. David James, who served as Combs' personal assistant from 2007 to 2009, started crying as he testified that when he interviewed for the job, one of the hip hop heavyweights lieutenants pointed to a photo of Combs on the wall and told him, "This is Mr. Combs' kingdom. We are all here to serve him." What? Okay, James' employment coincided with the early days of Combs and Cassie's relationship. He recalled her being astonished and perhaps overwhelmed by Combs' high-flying, globe-trotting ways. "Man, this lifestyle is crazy," he recalled Cassie saying as they smoked cigarettes on a dock with her then best friend Morgan. James, who will return to the stand on Tuesday, said he suggested Cassie leave Combs if she was uncomfortable, to which he said she replied, I can't get out. You know, Mr. Combs oversees so much of my life." So you mean to tell me it's probably the money, her showbiz stuff and all that, but damn, sometimes you have to overlook all that type of stuff and do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? You have to get out of those situations. Anyway, James recalled talking to Combs on another occasion about the women in his life. Combs, he said, described his longtime girlfriend, Kim Porter, the mother of some of his children, as my queen. When the subject turned to Cassie, James testified that Combs told him, "She's good. I got her right where I want her. She's young." I told you. James recalled Combs describing Cassie as very moldable. See? Molding her into what he wanted her to be and things like that, if this is true. You know what I'm saying? But he really said, he already told you guys that Kim Porter was his queen, okay? And that's what Cassie knew. Hold on, let me see what else I got here. So we did, okay, so then Dawn Richards testified Usher and others were present when Diddy allegedly punched Cassie in her stomach. Let's see what's going on here. So as we know, she is the fourth person to testify in Sean Diddy Combs' trial. And she filed a lawsuit back in 2024 alleging the music mogul actually and verbally abused her. She also alleges she witnessed Combs assault his then girlfriend Cassie, as we know, with a skillet full of eggs, and on another occasion punched her in her stomach. So she said that other celebs were there when Sean Diddy Combs allegedly punched Cassie in the stomach. She claimed that Usher and some other celebs were there. All right. Now let's see what else she said regarding that. So she alleged this incident took place in a room at the restaurant where Combs and Cassie, were getting into an argument quietly. And then he punched her in her stomach, okay? She immediately bent over. Hold on, you guys. And then Combs told her to leave. No one helped. No one intervened. Now, she said, among those allegedly present at the dinner were Usher, Neo, Jimmy Levine, and other celebs that Richard could not recall on the witness stand. Now, people reached out to Usher's team for comments. Okay. Now, after they left that restaurant, Richard was in the car with the couple when Cassie said she was embarrassed and told Combs he should not have acted in that manner in public. He grabbed her by the neck and popped her, slapping her in the mouth. And then he told her to shut the F up. That's what Richard said. He would also say he owned her. And then Dawn said, I told her he should leave. Cassie looked torn. She would listen, but I could see the fear. Then Dawn previously said she witnessed Combs allegedly assaulting Cassie with a skillet full of eggs in 2009. And then after she witnessed that herself, then Combs allegedly threatened her. And that's when he told her you could go missing and all the other stuff. So this is Dawn Richard. Here's a sketch of Diddy right here. Okay. So Jermaine says nonsense. Okay, Jermaine. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see what else we got, y'all. A lot of stuff, huh? So I think I covered her already. So, like I said, Dawn said that Diddy would threaten people will pass on if they don't listen, which is crazy. What I'm really trying to figure out, though, is how all these men, were intimidated by him, allegedly. How and why? And how could these men sit there, whatever, and watch him, if this is true, beat this girl like that, punch her and things like that? Anyway, listen to this video right here.
Whether to throw out a portion of last week's testimony. It concerns a witness who was called after Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, finished testifying on Friday. CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi joins us now here in Studio 57 in New York with more on this. Caroline, good to see you. So explain what testimony may be thrown out and why.
Yeah, Chanel, it's looking more and more like that testimony will not be thrown out. Obviously, last week was all about the star witness, Cassie Ventura, star victim, I should say. She's victim number one in that government indictment. But the testimony from Dawn Richard was meant to corroborate some of Cassie's abuse. And part of that corroboration was an incident that she testified about when Diddy actually, she alleged, hit Cassie with a skillet. She was making eggs. He got, enraged and hit her with a skillet. Now, she also testified that thereafter, Diddy told her that people who spoke about these types of things tend to disappear, and that she took that as a threat on her life. The defense attorneys, rightfully so, objected to a lot of this testimony, saying much of it was hearsay. In trials, there are very strict rules of evidence. The judge is concerned that a lot of these now corroborating witnesses may be veering into hearsay, gossip. You only want witnesses to testify, and they're only allowed to testify to things that they directly saw or heard. So that's part of this objection. as well as this statement that Diddy apparently made to her. We're already seeing the defense today really try to get into those inconsistencies in Richard's testimony about whether did she actually witness this abuse or did she just see perhaps the aftermath of it. So that's kind of the issue here. The issue is the scope of the testimony. It does seem that the judge is going to allow that testimony to stand on Friday, but going into more of this testimony today, there may be a sort of a tighter scope around what they can testify to.
Yeah, and I wonder, because you mentioned this, Cassie finishing her days-long stretch of emotional testimony last week, and how will her testimony then impact how the case moves forward?
Yeah, she was a very credible witness, I do have to say, obviously testified to years of abuse. The defense is already acknowledging that this was a domestic violence relationship. The question is, can the prosecution prove that this was sex trafficking, that this was a RICO conspiracy? So you'll see witnesses this week like Cassie's mother, her best friend of over 17 years, corroborating this information about the abuse. Now, the defense is saying, all right, there were instances of abuse, but how is that relevant necessarily to force, fraud, or coercion relating to sex trafficking? So that's kind of what the argument is here. The defense is saying these are just bad acts witnesses. We call them bad acts witnesses because traditionally that type of testimony is not allowed in trials when that specific conduct isn't being charged. He's not being charged with domestic violence or assault in this case. So that will be an issue coming up. But I think it's all about corroboration this week.
Yeah, that's an interesting point to make. And Caroline, also want to ask just about next steps. Are there any other key witnesses that you'll be expecting to hear from?
Yeah, certainly. Remember, there are other victims in this case. There are other co-conspirators in this case that haven't been charged. So we're expected to hear from personal assistants and chefs, things like that, to Diddy, and whether or not they are sort of victims as well as co-conspirators. That'll be maybe a fine line to draw, but certainly with information about drug use. Remember, we heard about the potential arson, obstruction of justice. Remember, those are more of the elements involved in this racketeering conspiracy that the government really hasn't gotten on the table yet, and I would expect we would hear this week.
All right, Caroline Felici, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we just heard that, and yeah, I would agree. Basically, it seems more like a domestic violence situation going on here. You know, assault charges and things like that, which this case is about. You know, the ex trafficking or coercion, forced labor, fraud, and the P word. And I don't really see that as of yet, but we never know what's going to happen. You know, the rest of the week, exactly. You know what these other witnesses are going to say. But so far, I really don't. I don't see all other stuff right now. This is a picture of Cassie and her husband out for the first time since the Diddy's trial testimony. I just hope this ain't about no vengeance, about a relationship, you know, not getting exactly what you want out of the relationship. I just hope it's not about this right here, you know, because if it is, it's plainly ridiculous, okay? Now, so far, you guys, all I see is domestic stuff. I don't know why they didn't put up assault charges and things like that, if that's what they're going to talk about in this domestic violence and stuff like that versus this other stuff if they don't have proof. But then again, they may have proof because we haven't seen everything else they have. We haven't heard from the other witnesses. We just don't know what else they have. You know what I'm saying? But these other witnesses got to have proof that they have to have proof that they saw some ex-trafficking situations going on, forced labor, all this forced stuff, this coercion, all of this stuff. No hearsay. They have to actually have witnessed these things because, you know, you're in a court of law. You can't be going off of, you know, what you think or what you believe. You have to actually know these things. You know, you have proof. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what. Okay, thank you, Jermaine. So, since we already know that Cassie also threatened, she threatened that dude who had the video, allegedly he had a video. She told him that I'll kill you. And so with the dude standing with her, I guess that was one of Combs' security, he will do it again. Okay, so that's a straight up threat. And I don't know if they had that on audio or not. I thought they did. I think that's what they said. So, and then you went over the text messages. You heard me go over the text messages. I'm pretty sure you guys did. So is Cassie a victim, or do you guys think she's a participant, or a combination of both? I personally think it's a combination of both. Okay, I really do. I'll tell you guys exactly what I think later on in this trial once I see how everything goes. But it's a hot ass mess, and I'm just waiting for the proof of the ex trafficking, the proof of the racketeering and forced labor and all this other stuff. I'm waiting for that proof because so far the only thing I have seen is a bunch of domestic violence, a bunch of he say she say, both people doing violent episodes at times, both people paying ex-workers and engaging in orgies and things like that, and just a bunch of tripped out, freaky type stuff going on here. That's all I see so far, and I see him abusing her. I don't know for sure. I think she did say she hit him before, but I mainly see him, abusing her. Okay, so that's what I see in this entire case right here so far. Now, let me see what else I have real quick, because we definitely won't be here long today. So let's see what they got right here. Let's see if they said anything different, because I think I basically covered up everything. So David James, who I told you what he said, that's the one who started crying. Okay. And he witnessed some things. He's going to finish testifying tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, I covered all this. Let's see what else. Let's make sure. Yeah, I did all this. Let me see what my thing said about this whole trial. Hold on for a minute, guys. Let me check some real quick. Make sure I covered everything. Let's see. Hold on real quick. So let me just go over this real quick for you guys. This is going to be boring. So, but anyway. So this is day 6, like I just said. And the prosecution, as we know, continued to present its case. All right. So as we know, Jane Doe 1 took the stand. The prosecution called its next witness, identified as Jane Doe 1. She testified about alleged incidents of sexual assault and coercive control by Combs. While her testimony is ongoing, initial reports indicate she echoed some of the themes raised by Cassie, detailing alleged power imbalances and instances of being forced into unwanted sexual situations. Now, focus on alleged patterns of abuse. The prosecution appears to be building a case highlighting a pattern of alleged abusive behavior by Combs towards multiple women. Jane Doe 1 testimony is expected to corroborate Cassie's claims and potentially introduce new allegations. The only new allegations I believe that I recall is the one where she said that he allegedly punched her in the stomach, and some celebs were there like Usher, Neo, Jimmy or James Levine, and some other celebs. I think that's the only new one that I heard about, if I'm not mistaken. So defense strategy continues. Diddy's defense team maintained its strategy of attempting to discredit the witnesses by questioning their motives, their past behaviors, and the consistency of their accounts. They began their cross-examination of Jane Doe, likely focusing on similar lines of inquiry used with Cassie. Now, Diddy did not do any type of testimony today. He was present in the courtroom, but he did not testify today. It remains unclear whether he will take the stand later in the trial. Now, potential for more witnesses. The prosecution is expected to call additional witnesses in the coming days, potentially including other Jane Does and people with knowledge of Combs' alleged behavior. So the media scrutiny intensifies. The trial continues to draw significant media attention, with detailed reporting on the emotional testimonies and the legal strategies employed by both sides. In summary, today's proceedings mark the beginning of testimony from another alleged victim, Jane Doe 1, as the prosecution works to establish a pattern of alleged misconduct by Sean Diddy Combs. The defense continue its efforts to challenge the credibility of the accusers. The trial is expected to continue with more witnesses and testimonies in the days to come. And that's a summary, point blank. So what do you guys got to say? Excuse the bloopers. It's hard reading this online, you guys, right here on this live. Anyway, you said all these people, so all these people, including her friends, seeing this, and everybody was scared to go to the police or help her escape. That's what I'm saying, which is crazy. How can you watch a man beat the shit out of your friend and say you were scared? There's no way. I can tell you straight up, there's no way I would have just stood there and did nothing. Because if I can be driving down the street at like 3 o'clock in the morning or 1, somewhere around that time, and I see a girl walk down the street, I turn around, she crying and stuff, this dude messing with her. I turn around, try to help her. You know, good and damn well, there's no way I could have sat there or stood there and let this dude, if he did this, do this to this chick and not call the police. Even if I couldn't intervene because I'm scared of him, I would have left and called the police, point blank, and just never see him again and have something with me just in case. That's how I would have did. Because, I mean, how can you watch all these grown-ass men? And if this is true about Usher sitting there watching that dude, I hope it's not Usher. I love you, but I hope it's not true. I really do. That's right. This is crazy. Even grown-ass men scared of this dude, scared to say anything. You don't think Diddy is going to testify? Why would he? I don't know. I mean, I don't think he should, but, you know, I guess his lawyer will tell him, you know, if he should or not, you know, but I really don't think, let me take this down. I don't know why Facebook keep on coming up on my phone. I thought I turned it off. I don't know why he would testify. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're just sending me messages. Okay. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up, I probably wouldn't get up there. You know, I mean, he gave all the test messages. They speak for themselves. I don't feel like he needs to say anything else. Point blank. If they speak for themselves. And then if he got other proof to prove that he did not do any X trafficking, that people did do things consensual, then, you know, why would he need to speak? Right, I agree. Why would he need to speak if he has any type, if his defense team have any type of information to disprove what they're saying? Okay, period. But it is going to be fascinating to see the mom get up there and be a witness to what, I don't know, her testimony, because I don't know what all she knows. Because Cassie did say she lied to her mom, then she ended up telling her mom the truth. But if her mom did not witness anything besides Cassie coming home with the black eye, I mean, it's not saying that it's X trafficking. See, we already know that Combs fought her. We saw him abuse her on tape. Let me tell you something. If he never hit her any time before, just the video alone is enough, you know, for her to, she should have filed charges on him. We don't care about all this other stuff because we saw firsthand what he did when he beat her in the hotel. So all this other stuff is irrelevant if it's not showing, you know, X trafficking, coercion, fraud, the P word, racketeering, and forced labor. Okay, if it's not showing all of these things. So because we already know he beat her. We already know this. We already know that he's allegedly controlling and probably did stuff so she wouldn't be able to pursue her career unless she followed his orders. That's what a lot of controlling people do. They will take money away from you or not give you money if you don't do what they tell you to do, or they would take other things away from you, you know, if you don't do what they tell you to do. And so it seems like he probably, you know, played this game too. Now I said probably, okay, because I don't know for sure, but it seems like he probably did play those games too. But still, this is not X trafficking. It's very severe domestic violence and manipulation and all that. But he's not up there, you know, for that. Right, and she got $30 million, 20 from him, and then another 10 from the hotel, you know. But him with these non-disclosure agreements, along with other people, thinking that you can't say anything that happened, you know, illegally is crazy. And just so y'all can know, I'm gonna look it up again for you guys, because matter of fact, damn, he don't talk. Hold on, let's go this real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all hear this song. Then we're gonna be out of here. Can you? Oh wait, let me see. How can I ask this? First, let's do this. Hold on. What is a non-disclosure agreement? Oh my God, can you please speak it yourself? All I thought I was going to talk. Hold on, let me go back. So as we know, y'all, it's a confidentiality agreement. It's a legal contract that protects confidential information from being disclosed. It's a binding agreement between parties to keep certain information private, ensuring that it's not shared with unauthorized people or used for purposes other than those specified in the agreement. All right. Okay, so there are different types of those NDAs. Okay, they got one-sided, where only one party is obligated to keep information confidential, and then you got mutual, where both parties agree to keep it a secret. All right. The scope of it is that the NDA will define what information is considered confidential, the duration of the agreement, and the permitted uses of the information. Enforcement. NDAs are legally binding contracts, and breaching them can lead to legal consequences like lawsuits and financial penalties. Okay, not jail. Anyway, common use. NDAs are frequently used in business transactions, employment agreements, legal negotiations, and when sensitive information is shared between parties. Okay, now let me go down here. So, in essence, hey Bronze, what's up? What's up? What's up? An NDA is a contract designed to protect the confidentiality of information by creating a legal framework that requires parties to keep specific information private and use it only for their agreed upon purposes. So, let me go up down here. Hold on. But I gotta type this in here. Hold on, y'all. I gotta type this real quick, and I need to hurry up too. Okay. So a lot of people, let me just tell you straight up, especially out here on this YouTube land. Okay, in this YouTube land, a lot of people try to use these NDAs to cover up illegal business practices by try to make employees or potential partners or people, keep quiet about their illegal things they have done. However, you cannot use NDAs. You cannot stop people from telling stuff, even if they sign an NDA and you do illegal shit. Okay, point blank. All right, because then, that's breaking the law even more so. Now, in the workplace, they said, or outside of the workplace, they can be misused to cover up illegal business practices by making employees or other individuals who might have information about misconduct be quiet. NDAs can restrict employees from disclosing information about illegal activities like sexual harassment or other forms of mistreatments in the workplace. And that's because the reason why is because a lot of these employees and people don't go talk to a lawyer, and they don't look it up, or they don't understand it. And they be thinking that they cannot tell when these people do illegal stuff. Now, when you get an NDA, before you sign it, you need to talk to an attorney to make sure what's going on with the NDA, give you a good understanding of it, and also check the state that you live in. Because like here in California, NDAs have limitations to protect employees' rights, especially regarding reporting illegal activities. All right. So for example, California's Silence No More Act prevents employers from including clauses in NDAs that restrict employees from disclosing information about mistreatment in the workplace. And that's why you need to go talk to a lawyer or go look up in a legal on a legal website. You can ask them for free a lot of times exactly what the limitations are. in regards to if somebody does something illegal in the workplace, can you say something? Okay, point blank. Okay, let me go ahead and see here. See, while NDAs can be enforceable, they may not be enforceable if they restrict a person's right to report illegal activities or if they violate public policy. So that's why when you get an NDA, let me say this again, you need to go talk to a lawyer or go online and look up a lawyer online and get free legal advice, or go to, what you call those people, you know, when you get a lawyer for free. I can't remember the name of them. I can't remember the name of them, but anyway, you can go to them as well. But you definitely can go online and just type it in there for a lawyer to answer. They may not answer it immediately, but they're going to answer it. Or you can just research it yourself, and it will tell you that. Andy, if somebody committed something illegal, and I'm talking about for real illegal, you do not, the NDA does not cover that, point blank. You know, like if somebody unalived somebody, or did some other illegal type activities, you can reveal that. And that's why it's very important, again, to understand what that is, okay? Point blank, before you signed it. And he had people sign those NDAs to keep quiet about him beating the shit out of Cassie, allegedly. And they could have told, okay? They could have told. And the thing about it, even if they did tell, if they would have told, what could he do? Sue them? Once he goes to court and stuff, after they see that he did abuse this girl or whatever the case is, that NDA is going to be irrelevant in the first place, shit. Because you can't be out here doing, you can't be out here abusing people. You said she's just being vindictive. She's angry because Diddy had a baby with another woman, not her. Could be. She was just a side piece who thought she was more than she actually was. I'll say this is getting very interesting, but Diddy really bribing people? I don't know if he bribed people or not. He could have. I don't know for sure. I don't think they showed us any real proof of that. This is all like hearsay, I believe. I don't recall them showing actual proof, not even in the text messages. I don't remember seeing anything like that. But then again, they could have something like that. I don't know, because I don't think we heard every single text message. But I don't recall hearing him discuss anything about bribing someone. I'm on my live. Do not ask me any questions. I don't recall hearing that. He could have, but I just don't recall hearing it. All right. So let's see here. And I'm going to tell you something. When people do these NDAs too, they better include the duration, okay? And some other things, some key information in those NDAs, because when you go to court, if somebody violate that and all of these things are not included, it may not even be enforceable, okay? So you have to follow rules, because people will do NDAs online with those forms, right? And send it to you trying to scare you. And if you don't know anything about it, you'll get scared. But then they don't have the time limit in there. Like, for example, you give them a certain amount of time, you need to have that all in there. Like when I did one, I'm thinking, I was just messing around, but I'm thinking that I read that. I thought that I included it. And I think that I did. I'm not sure if I did or not. But you definitely have to have certain information in it. You people going online, getting forms and shit, sending it to people, emailing it to people, and don't have everything in it. And then get up on their little YouTube pages and talk about it like they some damn type of lawyer or some shit, because they was in a criminal system. Let me stop. But anyway, like I just said, you have to go and research all about the NDA and look up the information. You know what I'm saying? And talk to a lawyer if you can. If you can't talk to a lawyer, at least look it up. Get a legal dictionary, define the words if you don't know what they mean, and just look it up and see. And then maybe you can type online on one of those free sites for free lawyers. They're not really free. They just answer a couple of questions. You can ask them about it. Okay? You said I'm not silent shit. I'm just a dog. And speaking of the dog, that is it for my wrap up on Sean Diddy Combs for today. I'll be back tomorrow for day 7. This is day 6. Let me edit this real quick so I won't forget. Hold on, let's do this. Keep on calling her Richards. Oh wait, hold on, y'all. Testimony, girl. But how you spell testimony? Okay, I spelled that wrong. Testimony. Let me make sure I spelled this shit right. Spell testimony.
Testimony is spelled T-E-S-T.
Okay, I got it. I left the I out, you guys. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. Okay, so let's edit that real quick. Save changes. They always talking about you can't do shit. Let me do this right here. Got the lowercase. Let's do this real quick. Copy. Because now, see, when I start rushing y'all, it's over. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Let me see. Dawn, Richard. I forgot the damn I cannot type worth crap. Okay, there you go. Now let's save it. Okay, so I got that up there now. Let's close this out. Okay, I think it's up there. All right. So anyway, you said we don't know nothing over here. Not Nathaniel. Okay, I don't know nothing. Okay. Anyway, not Nathaniel. Okay. We don't know nothing over here because, you know, Jermaine said he's just a dog. All right. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with day 7 of his trial. And if I find any more information, guys, I may come back tonight if I can. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, share, and leave a comment. And check out my other videos too, okay, y'all? And I'll see y'all later tomorrow. All right, let me let y'all hear the song that I did. Let me turn off this music. Thanks to Bronze, Jermaine, everybody in the bushes, everybody who watches this in the replay. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Also, thanks for having me, helping me get to 900,000 views. I appreciate you guys. I got over 6,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate you guys. All right. And don't forget, you can do a membership for $4.99. You can do a super sticker, super chat. The membership is $4.99 per month. Okay. You can do a super sticker, super chat, or you can do a Cash App donation to $Shades2. And it's right across the screen. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and listen to this music. Let me change this banner and we are out of here. Let me put this up here. Wait, y'all, I'll be looking for this shit all damn day. Okay, there you go. We're going to put that up there, and we're going to hear this music. I hope y'all can hear good. Jermaine, you tell me you can hear this good. Y'all get ready to laugh. Wait, I don't even give a damn because somebody just cannot stop. So every time this person do what he does, this is what I'm going to do. Just running your mouth. Yeah, that much true. Every time you hit new, trying to get slick, but you goofy as hell. Slogans on loop like a broken spell. Repetitive content, you say it with pride. Don't bark, no bite, just hide. You the dog, or like a flea. Jump on trends, then beg for a seat. I don't know nothing. Clearly, bro. That's your whole brain and your whole shit, huh? All with a mind, but no real sound. Just scroll, you use your cake. Whole channel look like a throwaway. Mike in the vids like look at me cook. Y'all can I hear that? Damn, Jermaine, you are so annoying, dude. Let me see if I can do it off my other phone, okay? Just listen. Let me do it like this. This nigga, boy, you gonna make me say something. Let me see if I can do it off of my other phone real quick. I got to go, y'all. Let me see if I can go to StreamYard on my other phone. How about if I go, because let's see. Let me see if I can, and tell me if you can hear it, because I want y'all to hear this. I got to figure out how I can show this. So I'm trying, I need to figure out how I can put it and share it like that, like on another screen. But let me see if I can do it like this first. That's what I got to figure out. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Otherwise, I hope I'll be able to do it. Let's see. So over here, damn, how can I do this? Oh, man, this is so messed up. Hold on. Without cutting this one off. Let me see if I can do this. If you stop this mute. Hold on, y'all. Okay, can y'all hear me? You said download it and play. Download it where? Damn, dumb, it's ridiculous. But for real, where you downloaded at? You said ghetto ass. Yeah, can y'all hear me on my other phone though? Just say yes or no, because you don't need to hear me on this one. Let me mute it. Say yes or no. Let me see if y'all can hear this. Hold on. Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna figure out how to damn do this, and then I'm gonna let y'all hear this rap. Not right now. When I come back, let me see. I'm trying to figure out how you do it. Jermaine said you download it. I don't know how to download this from WhatsApp. I cannot believe y'all cannot damn hear, but I can hear very well. Jermaine blind ass, damn deaf ass. Let me see. I don't know how. Okay, I'm about to figure out how you do this, because I don't know how you download this damn song, and I don't have time to do it right now. So I'll tell y'all what. I will come back later on and let y'all hear this song only so y'all can laugh. Y'all gonna be cracking up when you hear it. I don't know nothing. Okay, that's the name of it. I cannot wait so y'all can hear this damn rap, you guys. So later on, when I come back, I'm gonna figure out how to do this. You said download it, right? But I had saved it. I recorded it on my WhatsApp. Hold on. So y'all cannot hear that. Y'all can't hear this. Y'all cannot hear this at all.
One small clip stretched nothing for minutes, man. That ain't it. You say I'm the dog, yeah, I'm out on the leash. Pacing in circles, praying for peace. I don't know nothing. Load feels like a low athlete. Clickbait king with no real throne. Live stream talk, but dead when alone. Merge weak, bars weaker. Talk like a beast, but your ego cheaper. Stay less, post less, do more doubt. We laugh, now we clowning around it. So
okay, y'all actually take too damn long to tell me if y'all hear anything or not. So I'll tell you what, I can do it two different ways. I can try to download it if I can, or I can just do a whole TikTok video on it, right? I can do a whole TikTok video and be acting like I'm actually dance to it, let it play, and then you guys probably can hear it. But TikTok, I don't know. I got to see, and then just show it through my TikTok. I could possibly do it like that. I'll figure it out. I bet you that. And then I'll share with you guys. I'll come back just to show you, let y'all hear that song. Because, I'm so sick of a certain person doing the most. So every time he do the most, I'm doing a rap. All right, so this dude is rapping it though, okay? So later on, when I come back, that's what we'll do. I don't know what the hell happened to Jermaine's stinking ass. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys later on. Like I said, just for that song. That's it. No more Diddy news unless something else pop up that I didn't tell you guys about. Okay? So until then, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know nothing. Okay? Peace. Oh my God. Let me put this up here. Actually, let me change this. Say, see y'all for the world premiere. I could have did it real quick if I would have had enough time, but I got to go. Could have did. Is that a spell premiere right? Let me see if I spell premiere right, child. Oh, let me check and see. Spell premiere. Let me see if I spelled that right. My ass always forget stuff. There you go, right here. So tonight, I'll do that world premiere of that song. So y'all make sure y'all come in. I won't be here too late, but it'll probably be like 8 o'clock my time. All right, I'll try to get here by 8. To my God. All right, so I'll see y'all then. All right, peace, y'all. Thanks.